What's up, my people? Welcome back to the Willis Podcast. Yeah, we here, we back. Yeah, and we back in effect too. So we're gonna have a good time. We got a great show lined up for you tonight. Of course, we do. I'm gonna let you know this is the history and who shapes the identity of America. You know what I'm saying? What is America? It's part three, part four. Whatever, man. But y'all know what the show is about. And I want you to understand it. So let me go get my stuff straight. Let me get my theme corrected because that's a little small. Let me edit that and edit this font. You're a little different. You know. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, it could be a little bigger, but that's fine. No, we're gonna make it a little bigger. Let me change that. Let me change my graphics a little bit. Let me edit the theme. Cause nah, font is uh little little small, you know. We ain't gonna worry about it too much, but not too much. All right, let's get to the show. I don't want to do too much. I don't want to get too caught up into, little stuff like that. But anyway, we got a great show, and we're gonna get to it because there's a lot of things that need to be pointed out. There's a lot of things that need to be said, and there's a lot of people that got a lot of situations wrong because I pointed out a few things, a few days ago about, you know, my personal ancestry. I think a lot of people get a lot of things misconstrued when it comes to studies. See, studies has to do with, you know, who you are for yourself personally, who you are specifically. So when you understand who you are specifically, that means you should not be shamed or you should not be in the business of trying to be someone else. Fortunately, Black Americans don't have that situation. We don't have that problem. We don't have that burden because we don't have the necessary need to even try to lie, to even put up a lie, or even to try to shape a lie. You understand what I'm saying? So to shape a lie means you got to tell another lie, to tell another lie, to tell another lie, to tell another lie. That's shaping lies, and that's the problem. That's the real problem that we have today. In the world, everybody love alternate facts when they are not necessary and not needed. But they like them. They like to try to apply some things because it makes them sound or maybe feel or seem intelligent, but it makes you seem like a damn fool. Period. There's no other way to shape it, put it, or really kind of, you can't finesse that. Lying is a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It doesn't make you, it shouldn't make you feel superior because you have the ability to want to lie. So then when you feel the truth haunting at your ass, when the truth is on your neck, some people get extremely belligerent, especially now that we know we've discovered the Siberian conquest. That's what I've been, pretty much going in on the Siberian conquest. So the Siberian conquest existed of a few things. Fur trades. I've explained these things in a few books, but I also want to explain a few things in other books. Let me make sure my camera right on this side so when I show you things you can see well. Come on now. All right, here we go. All right, want to make sure we got good vision. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. But when it comes to, I want to read you a few excerpts out of this book. I told you I was going to tell you about hidden. Oh, can y'all see this on? Hey, hidden cities. Yeah, the hidden cities. Y'all see it up here on YouTube. Hidden cities. Yeah, the hidden cities. This is the hidden cities, the discovery and the loss of the discovery and loss of ancient North American civilizations. I wonder why they say that because that goes against everything a lot of people so-called wanted to learn or try to learn about what this place is, and you don't want to know because you'll say, let me tell you, I've shown an immense amount of my ancestry. I've shown screenshots, pictures, and I'm gonna even get on YouTube and I'm gonna show you again. I'm gonna do it again. Y'all gonna be able to see it on YouTube when I do the shorts. on TikTok. Y'all gonna be able to see the shit. I'm doing the same thing. But I just want to show you. I just want to tell you a few things. This is since you're so familiar with the so-called recent past, the recent past. Let's talk about what Thomas Jefferson was European colonial stepped in the culture in which arises in the Mediterranean North Seas and happened to live in Virginia among more people from the continent of Africa than those like himself. Even after many were sold to do heavy work in the West, still outnumbered the whites in 1800. Let me explain something to you. There are probably still, despite the hideous consequences of recurring plague, more Indians in the United States than there were people of European descent. As of thoughtful man, Jefferson was forced to reach some conclusions about the nature of people, dissimilar in appearance and the traditions from himself. He did so in assessment of blacks and did not alter much throughout his life. Jefferson's prejudices ran deep. Nothing could persuade him that blacks could exhibit talents equal to those of other colors of men. And in, it was impossible to find his asserted a black capable of tracing the comprehending the investigations of Ulysses. Later, he went as far as to acknowledge that the mathematics and survey of Benjamin Banneker might have mastered the trigonometry, but derived Banneker's letters are very childish and trivial. Through Phillips Wheatley's version, went into 5 editions praising by Washington and to describe the Voltaire as polished. Jefferson could not bring himself to call her to poet. When Abby Gregory compiled a list of blacks showing genius, Jefferson dismissed him as credulous and sought to find an inferius of white blood to explain any example of Negro genius. So that's what I discover now. Like, it doesn't matter what you tell any person that has literally have their heart, mind, and set on who the hell they think they are. You can't tell them nothing when they believe something. They ain't got to know shit. They just want to believe. They don't have to know a damn thing that's true about it. They just want to believe. And that's a sad situation, but it is absolutely true. So I was I was reading a great deal of information today. A great deal of information today about a lot of things. You know, uh the routes to Mountain City. I mean, all right. Let's get into it. All right, let's get into the show. I had a long, prelude. Anyway, let's go. Let's get into it. First and foremost, history shapes identity. Every community has a right to study its ancestry and preserve its heritage. That's fine. The purpose of this is to discuss and explore how history, census, consensus, records, and government classifications have influenced how people understand themselves. Identity and self definition. When you can define yourself, what a privilege, right? And so everybody else have had, and then when the indigenous Black American or the Black American says, "Oh well, I just want to discover me and to find what have I been up to for the past 2,000 years for real?" Because there's so many clues, there's so many stories, there's so much evidence, there's so much me. Damn. Why is identity important? Why has historically had the power to classify populations? Can governments redefine people on paper? And while families preserve different traditions and memories. How do oral traditions, genealogy, documents, and DNA each or RNA each shape the contributions to re-understanding ancestry? Because it's a big situation. That's why it's an extremely big situation. See, the problem with when it comes to watered down people, they want to water down everything. They'll water you down. They want to make you act watered down, make you act as if what you have done and everything that you have discovered was only a preservance to their greatness. That's so not true. That's hijacking. That's taking. That's stealing. That's theft. That's annihilation. That's destruction. You didn't do anything. But since you get the nerve to try to do something that even halfway distributes a speck of genius, I have to deter mine and act like my genius ain't here and don't exist. Those days are over. You know, we just got to put you to bed. You get put to bed. Whatever's best comes out on top now. That's just the way it goes. It always is like that. You can never suppress the people and think that you will let they will let you make them be like that. It's crazy. Insane. Let's keep discussing. Black American contributions. We have never been a lay down people. Let me show you how. Because we know two things. We know two things. We've always rebelled. We also know what you came here for. We knew what we had when we walk around and go. You think we don't remember that? You think we don't have dreams and aspirations and understandings of who and how we were and operated? Are you serious? Are you crazy? Does that make any sense to anybody or anything? It should not. It can't. It can't possibly make any sense. It's impossible. Make sure my audio working. Make sure my audio working. I'm gonna go to built-in output too. Make sure we cooking good. Anyway, we should be straight. So, oh, check this book out, ladies and gentlemen. God and glory. I gotta get it to my camera. What the hell? It don't even work. That's why I don't like having backgrounds up in here. And let me see. Hope y'all can see that. I know y'all can on YouTube. For God, glory, and gold. Talking about a manifest destiny with a sick mind. And then you should discover Black Rebellion. Eyewitnesses of major accounts of slave revolts. Gabriel Prosser, Nat Turner, the Maroons, Demarc Vesey, the Haitian Revolution, Amistad Mutiny, Creole Mutiny, and the Stone Rebellion. You know what I'm saying? They tried to, man. This book covers a lot of ground about, with the boy Daniel Adiola, whatever his hell his name is, gonna sit up there. You slow it down, and you got what the hell, you docile dirtbag. I mean, seriously, Adiola, whatever the hell your name is, man, you are the most castrated, stripped down version of a being that's black that it could ever possibly be. Look at you. And look at how you have ever came across to anybody, even in the movies you play. You didn't do a good job at playing Bass Reeves. Cause you little and you a punk. Like, stop, man. Get the hell up out of here. So the thing is, like, people have a very strong misconception, and there's a whole lot of reverence given to people that don't even know their own identity. And they should understand what happened to them so they can get, go get their reparations from Putin. Oh, here we go. Oh, goodness, here we go. Here we go with TikTok. I love TikTok shopping, everything that got to do with it. But anyway, we on YouTube, and so we ain't trying to cause no problems, I'm saying. But I'm just saying, like, look here, man. Look here, let's be for real. The whole world share DNA. And the most dominant DNA globally still exists. That doesn't mean we don't share DNA. I mean, I got a percentage of European in me, but doesn't mean it's the European that you think it is, or do you have the blood that Yeah, I mean, come on. You have to think about things way more abstract than what your mind is allowing, because you're stripping away your own identity when you're taking away that we don't procreate together or something. Like, Let's be for real. Think about the equations. Think about your own construct. Think about how you and what your abilities are able to do. So, but let's think about this too. When it comes to Black American contributions, you have to think about agriculture and farming innovations, music, music, traditions, blues, jazz, gospel, rock, hip hop, R&B, and worldwide influences that influence the whole world by way of just music and harmony. And that's also megahertz and reflections. But then you got literature and education. You have military service, scientific innovation and inventions. You have entrepreneurship, civil rights leadership. You have fashion, language, popular culture that have the global influence, and also even from the old kingdoms. If you think of Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and all of those things, those were patterns of the royals, and those were the black royals, if mind you. Just being honest, people don't understand and know these things, and they take these things as if the reason why black people have a thirst for certain nice things because we already know what we are adjacent to. And when you know our history better than when certain people know your history better than you, they know how to put out certain patterns to attract you due to it because they know how you function. They know so in order to lure you in, you have to purchase me because you're thirsty. It's like a blood. It's like they put it out. You know what I'm saying? They understand propaganda. They understand what you would pay. They understand how back in the '90s when I grew up, they used to unalive people for a pair of tennis shoes they wanted. That happened in the U.S. I'm glad we matured. I'm glad that people are not out here chasing how to unalive and destroy people, and they're trying to, basically um, get paper for themselves, and then some people that get paper for themselves, they start understanding who they are for themselves, and that makes a better person. So maybe it's sometimes a person needs to alleviate their own pain or alleviate the pain and understand and appreciate who you are. And if you take time to understand and go back and forth to understanding who you are, that makes you a better being within yourself. So money is not the root of all evil. It's not the root of all problems. It's the solutions based, depending on the mindset. It's all everything actually results back to you as an individual and a person. It has nothing to do with something that can free you, hurt you, kill you, beat you, annihilate you, build you, make you better, reconstruct you, what have you. But you can't put it on the subject or you can't put it on the substance. You can't even put it on the product. You have to put it on yourself. That's kind of how it goes. So the power, we're going to go to the next subject. You know what I'm saying? The next what moment is the power of classification. See, you question your worth by exploring this. When you think about these certain things, how did census categories change over time? Why are terms like colored, Negro, mulatto, black, and other labels used differently across different periods? It's because you can disassociate a people, disorient a people, remix a people, and keep them moving, shuffled, buffled, and never understanding. If you do so much of that, they'll never have a relic or relinquish anything because you think you're making them lose everything. But sometimes people hang on to everything that they got, and you can never make them lose who they are because they hold on to it nearly and dearly. Just like when someone else come from another foreign land and they come over here and say, "Mom and Daddy, whoever, the reason why I left home, I'm gonna come over and make it." But some of them making them forget about they become American. All they get amnesia. Oh. Some people, that's not all. Some people take care of their people back at home. Some people, it's a whole lot of things that people are able to escape from, but they don't pay no reverence, no homage to the black Aboriginal that went through it all. And then we get told, well, you can't be Aboriginal when you got a kinky hair. What book you learn that of? Who taught you that? Blacks are the most Aboriginal people globally of fucking all time. I mean, so let me do a little better job of sharing some material again. I got a lot. Yeah, let's see what we get into this real right, real cool. Right? Let me check real. And we're gonna go back to ancestry. And we're gonna go. Let's just be clear. They don't believe shit stink. That's fine. But you can always show people, better than you can tell. You can always show people better than you can tell them. So let me see if I can do this. I want to tune. You'll see. Like I said, you'll see it later in shorts. Damn. Escape. I want to share. Let me see. All right, let me see if I can pull it up. Oh. Yeah, so now you see this window is being shared. Damn, let me see if yeah, here we go. All right, let me see here. Let me go back over here. Let me go back here. Share this screen. Here we go. I don't know why it's doing this like this, but all right. I'm moving a little slow. Maybe it's doing a little scan or something. Back here. Get out of here. They doing some funny shit right now. But anyway, let's go here. Can't share the screen, but it's okay though. We ain't gonna worry about that. I showed you. But let's keep going and going through the times because I got some more reading to give you too. Especially when it goes back to these. If y'all really want to know some truth, you got to read between the lines. But check out the Indian Wars. So this would tell you the story of the Siberian Huskies, like throughout. So I mean, it literally talks about the Anglo-Powhatan Wars and everything, and about how the British established. Let me explain something else to you too. Let me hold on 1 second, my people. Hold on 1 second. How long we got in here? Okay. First of all, like I told you, indigenous identity, because I got to reach this point. The diversity of indigenous nations across North America, the different understandings of ancient of ancestry among various communities, and how tribal civilization or tribal citizenship, genealogy, archaeology, and historical records intersect, and why question identity remains important today. This is why. It's why because you have invaders, and the two people that beat their head so hard, and you can read these stories for yourself. They beat their head so hard on being from the continent of Eurasia, and what you did is flank the indigenous aboriginals of America that had already beat you to the whole game. And your whole thing was to take that wonderful civilization out. That's kind of what you did, right? Like, I can read everything all day, but you have to admit to what you did and how you did it. And the reason why you did it is because you're a cold-blooded liar. Like, you cold-bloodedly tells unadulterated tales about shit, and you really do go hard on people that look dark, like as if you came there before them. Like, that shit is crazy. Like, that's like I'm really disturbed with that, because no landmass began with your pale ass. That's for real. No landmass began with your pale ass. Nowhere did. But we know where you came from, and then when I explain to you where you came from, you get real angry, hostile even. This one cat alluded to sexual acts and being disgusting. I'm like, that's like That's extremely unmanly, extremely unmanly. Not even male like at all, and unmanly. And you call yourself trying to challenge me on principles, who I am as a person, who you are as a person, your royal nature. You would never subject yourself to calling me names, being a disgusting peasant, disgusting being, and you would never result to calling me the disgusting. That's how we know who you are, because you're a disgusting person when you do stuff like that. You want to demean someone else because they know who they are and you don't know who you are. Because if I tell you you kind of not telling the truth about your whole origins. You can't have an origin of two places. That's why African American is extremely ridiculous. I agree. That's why I can't claim it. Does that mean I hate Africa? Oh God, no. Are you serious? Why would I hate any melanated person on this planet? And I think that's another big misconstrued notion that even Africans have. Africans just have to understand you don't run nothing. You don't. You never have, you can't, and that ain't your position anyway, to run nothing. The hell you think you is? How the hell you get to come and do the work that we done over here and taught you about you, know about you better than you, and you still think you get to run something? Sit your ass down somewhere and go get a learning. Go learn something. Let me teach you a lesson. But first, you need to sit down and take notes and get your ass out my face with all that disrespect. It's uncanny, it's disrespectful, and you ain't did enough to sit up here and come up to my face and act like you can. Back off, little boy. Let's be clear. You ain't got it like that. So you don't like learning lessons. You think you're in a position to put yourself above somebody. Well, you're learning different lessons now. Because if you can do that, you everything that you walk around in North America, right here. Yeah, you bet your ass. We built this shit. Whether you be FBA, American Indian, Indigenous American. If you go on this side of the game and you know who your people is and where they're from and all the territory where they're from and know that everything yours anyway, you would never have a problem building up your goddamn homeland. No matter if you're the dirt that's building it, because that's what we had to go through. We ain't never asked to go back to no damn Africa because it ain't where we come from. We just so happen to deal with our unfortunate situations and fight our asses up out of it. That's called real people. That's called champions. And y'all can't never deny that. Not no other kind of people, not white, no black, no nothing. You can't deny the champion that built itself out of nothing. You damn ain't nobody ever gave us nothing, but you damn sure came over here to put your foot on somebody's neck, though. You damn sure came over here to cosplay. You damn sure came over here to do something to us. You damn sure came over here to take a job. You damn sure came over here to not do shit to help us. You damn sure came over here to say, you know what? I don't like them. And I want to colonize too. So the whole world has participated in colonization. So why have I never tried to colonize you? I'll teach you, but I ain't never colonized you. I said learn you for you, but I ain't got to colonize you. What you want to do? Colonize somebody. You want to break somebody down. You want to take someone's dignity, humanity. That you still want to do it. You do it now. You still do the same shit, acting as if you're not doing it. You do it now. So who's the real one and who's not? It damn sure cannot be you. You don't have that title because you're not fit for it. Talk about who and what you are. Man, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. So let's talk about this right here. Let's talk about why does American music influence nearly every nation? It's the rhythm. It's the swag. It's the ability to function under pressure and move without even seeing nobody. But you see me. But check this. While Black Americans' language, fashion, sports, and entertainment copied around the world because everybody picks from it but don't want the connection to it. It's like a goddamn clothing rack, like it always have been. It's like Give me that version of what I like. I like this what they do. I like, and I can incorporate that. Where's my color? I can get this to where I can. I like this. Yeah. But it comes off our coat rack. This shit crazy. So what what responsibilities come with cultural influences? I mean, shit, none, because what people do is they take the part of the culture that they want out of it and they leave the rest. So that makes you with an empty culture because you don't know the story behind it. You don't know why the fashion exists. You don't know what influenced the actual artist. You don't know what influenced the actual maker of the product. So if you don't know these things and you just look at culture and pick it off the rack, what connection can you have with that? There is no connection. There is no balance. There ain't shit you got with that. It's nothing. So people want unity instead of division. You can't have unity because there's always been division. Why? Because there's been a division of resources. There has been a division of yeah, just shit, resources. You divide the resources. You keep the resources and you want something that you don't care to pay for. Just like everything else in America. People want shit they don't care to pay for. You want influence, you want clout, you want information, you want you know what I'm saying, you want the experience, but after that you don't want to contribute shit. What you say is, well, shit, that should be for free. Oh shit. So the sacrifice and efforts that was done before you was able to even be subjected to this, that wasn't free. Just to let you know. So who has the authority to define your identity? You do. Can official records tell only part of a family story? No, it tells a fuck ton of it, actually. Because then you get to know who's your family. And fortunately in America, we were really close knit at a point in time to where, families stuck together, stayed together, and in their turns prayed together. So you can't, you know what I'm saying? They had this type of specific unity where everybody knew who everybody was. That's how you could produce a green book. That's why everybody had the same. See, in America, we had the same lingo at the same time. When you say, can you dig? What's up? Oh, this, all that shit went global before there was TV. Our customs, everything about us, it was the same. And but the one thing that's RNA. That's the things that you have within yourself. That's the return of who you are. Those are the things that they say is junk DNA. It ain't junk. It's your survival. It's what make you comfortable. It's what make you again. It's what make you tethered to the land. It's what make you be able to make something out of nothing. So the problem is when you got these Siberians that call themselves native and things like that, they don't have the same cultural traits that can do everything from Mississippi, from to Tulum, uh, to they got parts of Seminole culture in Mexico today because they have a shared history of defense, and they still long my brothers and sisters over there in Mexico right now to this day, and they hide these people. But Mexico was much nicer. Some of the black players went to go play for Mexico in the World Cup because they was much nicer and they was more forgiving. They was much loving. So we really have to understand that the people that come to the Americas and they try to spend time and be American, these are what you would call not so good people all the time that come to the Americas. They not like that. I promise you, they ain't good. Because the people that I've met in other places, I've traveled the world. I've been all over the world. I've been in places in Europe and in Spain. I was five. And they whole thing like, yeah, he's a beautiful guy, handsome guy. Oh, this beautified. Like, hey, yo, in the Marine Corps. Hey, that guy's gorgeous. Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's beautiful. Beautiful. These people that you're an American. Oh, yeah. So these are things that happen. Kosovo, 99. Italy, been to Palm, Spain, had a good time. I mean, that was during the European holiday when you got all these cultures like exploding. everybody go to Spain, and these just one white folks. These was black, white, but they did have a lot of what you would call African prostitution. Yeah, in Rota, Spain, and Palma, Spain, and there was a lot of prostitution, shitload of prostitution in these areas. You know what I'm saying? But people had to go for what they know. That's just what it was. But the thing is, what they did teach me, what they taught me about my history, they knew I was different. One lady told me, you're a beautiful American black boy. She didn't say I was African. She just said, you're beautiful. And so I was like, what the fuck? Like, she's cool. Like, she know I'm a little different, whatever. But the crazy part about it is knowing your history is about understanding yourself, not diminishing anyone else. When people study their family, their past, honestly and respectfully, the contribution to a fuller understanding of American story. Pride is your heritage and your coexistence, and respect for other heritages as well, because you're tied to them. There is always a link that's going to link us together, and that also should be a lot of you pale complected, humbling equations. Because when you are humble, you can understand that maybe you are the one that should understand that everything comes from out of the darkness. When you plant a plant doesn't have a seed, everything grows out of darkness, even us. Isn't a mama's womb out of the darkness? Don't they have to use light to see it through the skin? But that baby is in darkness, ain't it? You have to think about the equations and the perspectives that you want to, make up for yourself. You have to be real with you for a couple times or two, to be quite honest with you. Man, I mean, come on, man. I mean, you gotta do a little bit better than what you do, because just to leave you with this, just a thought. Indigenous identity, the diversity of indigenous nations across North America are just that, extremely diverse. And just because you learn something that some of y'all ancestors are liars and thieves and destroyers, and it's proven because you still live in those same regions and areas and have the same practices. Let's be clear. So, um, it's funny how you see who they got on the front of this book. You see these Siberians. Yeah, they know that. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing, because then you get to see a person that's in my damn DNA. They existed too, the black ones. And also, let me give you a little bit more game, because I think y'all need to see this too. A lot of people don't understand this, but you know, let's not play games. Let's not play games. Don't act like it wasn't black Indians. Let's be clear. And we're gonna get to read now. This a whole hell of a lot more too. Black Indians. Since y'all want to talk all that shit, y'all need to get this book here. This is a dope book. I'll give you an excerpt. I gotta pick a good one. Oh, yeah, this is a real good one. All right. Jackson's invasion of 1880 did more than take Florida from Spain. They threw the United States into a war that prevented the Black Seminole Alliance from disturbing the South's plantation system. Slaveholder John Monroe secretly ordered the invasion of the slaveholder General Andrew Jackson, conducted and to provide a presidential plausible deniability. Secretary of State John Quincy Adams lied to Congress about the war intent and massacred, in clear violation of the Constitution. Only Congress could declare war. Adams and actions as government officials. Weeks written remains historians not to search for truth in the official explanations of events. First, the U.S. Army drove the black Seminoles into southern Florida by 1823. Seminoles had agreed to live in a reservation in 1826. Seminole King Philip uh, Imathla, Imathla protested. Here, our neighbor strings were first cut, and the blood from the sunk into the earth and made the country dear to us. To dispel the racial alliances, U.S. officials promoted slavery amongst the Seminoles, and of the five nations, only the Seminoles rejected that kind of slavery the United States wanted. Wealthy Creeks who owned their riches in slave labor were sent to persuade Seminole chiefs to become a slave master. Whites and Creek Indians were encouraged to raid Seminole villages for slaves. Free Seminole men, women, and children were carried off and sold into southern slave markets. This position of black Seminole, once secured within the nation, now needed strong support of the Seminole leaders. The divisions in the villages and chiefs argued various courses of actions that might lead them into peace. Some Seminoles claimed that they were owned their own members since they was the only language whites understood. But some who claimed their ownership took advantage of it and sent their black villagers off to hard labor in the fields. Seminole lawmakers Seminole law making it impossible to sell a slave remaining firmly in place. Seminole leaders still married black women and had black military and diplomatic advisors, but U.S. policy had begun to erode. A strong friendship and trust had been bent equally. In the face of their challenges, relations in the black Seminoles left from the former left their farm their own settlements. And in 1822, the U.S. Secretary of State reported that Florida there were 500 or 600 maroon Negroes wild in the woods. Further south in the peninsula were even more. Florida has now had a growing number of maroons who own allegiances only to themselves. For U.S. slaveholders, the Army, they armed independent black Seminoles were an intolerant problem. They owned horses, cattle, hogs, chickens, tended their own gardens, were treated worse. They were treated as kindly as family members, which they were often were. In 1835, the U.S. Indian Agency, Wiley Thomas reported they had equal liberty with their owners. They carried guns. They were allowed to travel long distances and acted impudently free. They were not slaves. Complained U.S. masters, but people who kept their African names and dressed in their fine Seminoles clothes and turbans and adopted Seminole stomp dance, and sang Seminole and African songs. In this leniency, slave masters saw a growing threat in the nearby slave system. Seminoles seized the revolutionary might overtake their own plantations and bloody the countryside with their racial outbreaks. Florida would not be fit place for slavery until the Seminole Nation behaved like proper slave owners. Behave like proper boy. All right, that's enough. Hey, check this out. That was page 68, man. This is Black Indians, the finest looking people I have ever seen. That's the chapter. Anyway, been on long enough. I gave you damn near 45 minutes. It's the Willis Podcast on TikTok and YouTube tonight. I thank y'all and I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Engine, what's up, my man? I got to get off YouTube real quick. I'm going to invite you in. That's a show. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, but check it out. Y'all know I can't leave you without this. The will is yours. Be cool, be easy, be peaceful, but always know who you are and establish the truth, respect the truth, and the truth will always set you freer than ever you could ever be. Be easy, my people. I love you and be at peace. Trying to end my stream. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be cool. Let me end my stream real quick. There we go.